Learning Delivery Modalities Course 2, Module 3B, Learning Resources. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Michelle P. Magulod, Teacher 1, your facilitator for today. Module 3B, Learning Resources. Now that you are familiar with how a lesson is designed in the modalities, you will also need to gather the learning materials you need to deliver the lesson. This module will help you refresh your knowledge on the different types of resources available for you in the different LDMs, show how you can access these materials, and introduce a method of rapidly assessing them before use. These are the module objectives. By the end of this module, you will be able to associate learning resources or LRs with the specific learning modalities, access resources from online portals such as DepEd Commons and LR portal of the Department of Education, explain the importance of using quality-assured LRs. These are the content of the module. Lesson 1, Learning Resource Maps for Distance Learning. Lesson 2, Accessing Learning Resources from DepEd portals. And Lesson 3, Assessing the LR materials. So the estimated time required is 4 hours. Let us move on with Lesson 1, Learning Resource Maps for Distance Learning. This lesson will give you the map of learning resources needed for the implementation of the different distance learning or DL subcategories. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to assess the LR needs and concerns in your school, discuss and reflect on these needs and concerns, and gather possible solutions to resolve these LR needs and concerns. Let us now have the key topics or concepts: distance learning, learning resources, LR maps, subcategories of DL. The resources required are learning resources or LR map and study notebook. Moving on, let us proceed with our first activity. The DepEd Memorandum on Suggested Strategies in Implementing LDMs for school year 2020-2021 included the Learning Resources or LR map as a guide in selecting the appropriate distance LDM to be implemented in schools or divisions. Study this map and answer the following questions in your notebook. Number 1. Based on the map, what resources should you have in order to implement the LDM adopted by your school or division? Number 2. Do you have the complete resources for the distance LDM needed in class? If the LRs are not complete or not available, what steps will you take to make this available? What are your options to substitute these missing LRs? Number 3. What support will you need to maximize the use of the 2 DepEd sanctioned LR portals? From whom can you get this support? And number 4, based on your evaluation of the materials, are they appropriate to the level and characteristics of learners? Are there learners who might be disadvantaged by the materials based on reading ability, level of learning independence, level of household support, or distance? What adjustments will you make in terms of the LRs? Now, let us discuss the map of the learning resources needed for each subcategory of distance learning delivery modalities. As you can see, there are 4 columns in the map: the distance learning delivery modality, subcategories, applicable grade level or learning area, and learning resources. These concepts were also discussed before. Let us just take a glimpse again for clarifications. The first distance learning delivery modality is online DL, which requires digital devices such as laptops, tablets, smartphones, desktop computers with available and stable internet connection. The subcategories of online DL are synchronous and asynchronous, which requires the learning resources of online self-learning modules or SLM and online activities or exercises. Next is the modular DL, with the subcategories of digital modular, which requires offline digital SLM and offline activity sheets. Next subcategory is the printed modular DL, which requires printed SLM and activity sheets. The other one is TV or video or radio-based instructions DL, which has three subcategories. The TV video SLMs based, which requires SLM based video and activity sheets, while TV video MELCs mapped requires MELC aligned videos and activity sheets. And of course, the RBI, which requires SLM based RBI and activity sheets. The last distance learning delivery modality is the blended DL. This is a modality in which it uses any combination of distance learning delivery modality, for example, ODL plus printed modular DL, ODL plus SLM-based video, or modular DL plus ODL, depending on the need of the school. It requires any available learning resources or activity sheets. Note that while teachers are expected to manage all distance learning delivery modalities, the presence of a teacher who will facilitate synchronous online DL is vital. MELCs map DepEd textbooks, LMs shall be used as learning resources for all DLDM. When used with activity sheets and learning plans, MELCs map DepEd textbooks or LMs may substitute printed SLMs. Parents or learning facilitator guides will be used in all subcategories of the LDM. Other textbooks, LMs, and teacher-made videos or modules may supplement the required learning resources for each DLDM. While all subcategories of all DLDM are appropriate for all the grade levels, when managed by a teacher or learning facilitator, those in green colors are the priority grades to do the specific DL in cases where resources are limited. And for our last activity in this lesson 1, in your last session, share and discuss your answers from the previous activity. What support can you provide to your colleagues, and what support can you get from them in terms of LRs? Take note of the insights that you can gather from your colleagues and write them in your study notebook. As easy as that, we can now proceed to our lesson 2. For now, thank you and God bless.